In text number first of chapter 3rd, Arjuna had asked this question from Lord Krishna, what is better for me? Jayasi ched karmanaste mata buddhir janardana. Oh Janardana, people are coming with earnest request, humble request to you for liberation. And that means you are giving them very good advice, giving them very good benediction. आशीर्वाद देते हैं आप उनको. And Keshava, you are controller of Brahmaji and Shivji also. So you please help me. You must help me so that I may be liberated. That's what. And why are you engaging me in a ghastly warfare which will bind me to this material world? So this is the point we have discussed. Now text number 3.2. He's kind of a little bit accusing Krishna of speaking equivocal words. ये भी कर अच्छा है, वो भी अच्छा है. This is also good. That is also good. You tell me what is good for me. That's what he wanted to know. This is the shloka. Please chant after me. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 3, text number 2. Vyamisreneva vakena buddhi mohayasiva me tadaekam vada nishchitya yena shreyo hamapnuyam. व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धि मोहयसीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयो हमाप्नुयाम. व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धि मोहयसीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयो हमाप्नुयाम. Why I'm actually smiling and actually laughing, because yesterday in the night somebody asked me, Prabhuji, I have a bad habit of watching YouTube videos. I said, what is that kind of YouTube videos you watch? He said, something called vlog, and vlogs are there. I don't know what is vlog. I've never seen any watched vlogs. So I said, why do you watch them? Said, no, it is give me entertainment. I said, does it give you any information of any value? He said, no. So you know that it is of no value, and still person is actually watching them. So I said, why don't you come for discussions in the evening and the morning? They said, I have to go to job. I said, so what to do? What can be done? You have to find some time to hear this Bhagavad Gita. Once you hear the discussion of Bhagavad Gita, which is very informative and kind of entertaining also. I don't know whether you will accept it or not, but yesterday I did not do Bhagavad Gita class or discussion in the morning. It kind of is kind of missing. I mean, although we are chanting, but just after your japa and Guru Puja, we must discuss something. It's like breakfast nahi kiya. I mean, I don't know what we should do in the Ekadashi. Something, maybe we should discuss about the holy name or something. Some discussion has to be there. Without that, you feel very blank. Anyways, you please chant. Some devotee can chant. Official chanter. व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धि मोहयसीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयो हमाप्नुयाम. Okay. Vyamishrena, by equivocal. Eva, certainly. Vakena, words. Buddhi, intelligence. Mohayasi, you are bewildering. Eva, certainly. Me, my. Tat, therefore. Ekam, only one. Vada, please tell. Nishchitya, ascertaining. Yena, by which. Sreyaha, real benefit. Aham, I. Apnuyam, may have. Translation: my intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me. So let us again look at the shloka. Vyamishrena iva vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me. Vyamishrena. Mishrena. मिश्रित, घुमा फिरा के बोल रहे हो, मिली जुली बातें कर रहे हैं आप. You are giving me mixed talk. Some time you are saying Sankhya Yoga is good, by which I must control my senses and try to realize my Atma. On the other hand, you are saying Karma Yoga is very good or Buddhi Yoga is very good. What I should do? So, Vyami Srena Iva. It appears that you are speaking Vyami Srena Vakya. You are giving a mixed advice. It appears that you are giving me mixed advice. You are not clearly telling me what I'm supposed to do. Buddhi mohaya sivame, and because of this, my buddhi appears to be bewildered. I am not, moha means you don't know what to do, what is good and what is right and what is wrong. A person is not able to understand. That is called moha, illusion. So my intelligence seems to be illusioned by this kind of words. Tad ekam, tad means therefore, ekam vadam, ekam vad, sorry. Vad means you give me one, ek baat boliye. You say this or you said this. Don't speak two things. Have you heard this kind of language in our normal parlance? Don't speak two things. You say, class jana hai ki prasadam khana hai? Whatever you feel, class jana bhi acha hai. Going to class is also good. Eating prasadam is also glorious. Then what you will say? Prabhuji, tell me one thing. Should I eat prasadam now or should I take or to class now? Many times you say, is it not? So when we want to, it's a very important point. When we want to decide what is ultimate good for me, there has to be no doubt about it. When I want to be convinced this path will take me to the highest limit, I should not have any doubt, because as soon as I have a doubt, my speed will become less. Will this holy name will take me to back to Godhead? So as soon as, yes, but you have to hear again and again. And if you don't hear, and if we have doubts, then our enthusiasm for chanting may go down, because every day our chanting is not good. And good means in the sense every day is not blissful. We are not in that state right now. At least I'm talking about myself. So I'm just saying, tad ekam vada nishchitya. You please confirm, tell me one statement. Don't give me two paths. Then very complicated. Just imagine yourself. Suppose you are in a place where you do not know whether this road will go to which destination. There are two roads. You understand? Can you imagine yourself? You are going on a straight road and then there are two branches. So now suppose even if you are on a proper road and you have gone, let's say 3 to 5 kilometers ahead, but still if there is doubt, no, maybe that other road would have taken me to the proper destination. Then your speed will become slow on this road or not? So suppose a person doing karma yoga and says, no, maybe Sankhya yoga was good. And maybe somebody is doing Sankhya yoga and they say, no, maybe karma yoga is good. You must understand why the Lord talked about Atma. So as to create interest within Arjuna or in general soul or general living entity, how to realize myself as Atma. Are you able to understand? The Lord will all the while will emphasize that you must do actions with a detached mentality to realize Atma. He doesn't advise normally directly do sense control. For most people, it is not practical. For most people, practical is to engage the senses in Krishna's service. It's not just simply sit down and meditate on Atma. It's very difficult. Or contemplate the difficult subject matters of Vedanta. It's very difficult. So the Lord told about Atma not to advise inaction, but action in the mood of detachment, giving a fruitive results so that one can realize oneself as Atma. भगवान ने आत्मा के बारे में इसीलिए बताया ताकि आत्म साक्षात्कार करने की इच्छा हो, लेकिन खाली बैठने रहने के लिए नहीं बताया है. वो कार्य ऐसे निष्काम भाव से कर्म करें ताकि आत्मा की अनुभूति हो जाए. अब समझ में आ रहा है? It's not that when I say when we hear that we are Atma, that we don't have to do anything. We have discussed that yesterday, last class also. But we must act in the proper spirit of being a servant of Krishna. So the Arjuna is becoming confused that should I Atma, if I'm not the body, I should not work for the body or not work through the body, or what I should do, or should I engage in actions? So he is a little confused about this. So tad ekam vada nishchitya. So you please one statement, one advice you give us by which nishchitya, it becomes very confirmed, yena shreya ham apnuyam, that by which I will get aham, I will get highest shreya. Have you read this chapter in your Bhakti Shastri? Not yet. अभी जब गीता नहीं पढ़ाई होगी ना, दूसरा अध्याय पढ़ा. Okay, Gita Bhushan commentary. A statement concerning intellect directed towards both Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga, concerning both stopping and engaging the senses, concerning both the goal of practice and the sadhya and the practice sadhana, is called a mixed statement, Vyamisra. Now, very complicated, but it's very simple. The Lord has told about Sankhya Yoga, in which you must be hearing in second chapter, distinction between Atma and body is mentioned. And the Lord had talked about Karma Yoga from text number 40 onwards, how to act in the mood of a detached actor, in which you don't desire the material results which will come from that action. अगर स्वर्ग मिलता है तो वो स्वर्ग की इच्छा नहीं करेंगे. A person will do yajna, but not with an attitude of going to Swarga. Does it make sense? So now can you see there are two sadhanas? One is Sankhya Yoga, in which a person is trying to detach himself from the body and try to see himself as Atma, different from the body. This is one sadhana. And second is in Karma Yoga, a person is acting definitely as per Varnashram and other things, but he acts with the mood of detachment, with a mood of not being the doer and not being attached to the material results which are coming out from that action. Am I able to communicate myself? So can you see two sadhanas? You can see two sadhanas. Now, what are the two sadhyas? It appears that Sankhya Yoga is directed towards Atma, but Karma Yoga is not directed towards Atma. It appears to Arjuna. That's why he says Iva. It appears to Arjuna that Sankhya Yoga, or knowledge of matter and soul, is directed towards soul, but he can't understand that the intelligence which is applied on Nishkam Karma Yoga is also directed towards the soul only. It will not take the soul to a different destination. They appear to be two paths, but their goal is same only. So that's why I say my intelligence is becoming bewildered by these equivocal words. Equivocal words, you understand? This is good, this is also good, like this. By that statement, you seem to bewilder my intelligence. Mohayasi iva. In reality, you, the Lord of all beings, are my friend as well, would not bewilder me. But I, because of faults in my intelligence, think like this. This is the implication of the word iva. Iva is used in the sense of likeness. It appears that my intelligence is bewildered. It appears that you are trying to bewilder me. I know that you are the Lord of every living being and you are the well-wisher of every living being. And not only that, you are my dear friend. So why would you like to confuse me? Krishna is not here. Krishna is not playing jokes with Arjuna. He is now the spiritual master. Arjuna has accepted him as spiritual master. So he will not make jokes with Arjuna, at least now. So he is talking very serious talk, and it's very, very important for Arjuna. Should I fight or not fight? If he fights, he has to kill his superiors, he has to kill his grandfather, he has to kill his spiritual master. It's a very serious decision. Nahi samjh aa raha hai? It's a very serious decision. So that's why he says, it appears, I am sure that you are a supreme Lord and you are my friend. You will not bewilder me. But it appears, because of my fault of intelligence, that you are bewildering me. So he's not really accusing Krishna. And it appears it is accusing Krishna, but he's not accusing Krishna. Nahi samajh raha hai? Many times our students also ask like this, Prabhuji, you said here like this and you said there like this, and how to understand this? It appears a contradiction. Okay. So then we asked, we asked for clarification. That's what Arjuna is asking. In reality, we have discussed this. So you understand the meaning of Eva? Eva means likening. It appears like that. Therefore, make one statement, Ekam Vadam, without mixture of the two elements. That means you don't mix Sankhya Yoga and don't mix Karma Yoga together. You just tell us one, ek bataiye ye karna hai. I remember I did not never liked electronics. I mean, somehow that passed that course. But and I don't remember anything studying what I did as my studies in electronics. But our electronics sir used to say 0 is good and 1 is good, but 0 and 1 is not good. You understand? Like in army, say you shoot, that is good. You don't shoot, that is good. But maybe you shoot, maybe you don't shoot. That is very complicated. Is it not? Maybe do this and maybe you don't do this is very complicated. Maybe should not be there. Very clear has to be there. The Shrutis say, na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naikamrtatvam anasur pare nanakam nihitam guhayam vibhrajate yad yatayo vishanti. Not by performance of duty, by progeny or wealth, but by renunciation they attain that immortality which the sannyasis attain, which is beyond heaven and shines within the heart. Mahanarayana Upanishad. Nasti akritah kritena. I'll explain this first. Let me read this. Nasti akritah kritena. The eternal person, Akritaha, is not attained by actions. By this statement, I will gain the most beneficial process which I can undertake with conviction. So, why these two shlokas are there? These two shlokas are spoken with the intention to bring a person who's attached to Karma Kanda to Jnana Kanda. So, now, what the shloka is saying, simply by having more and more children, you won't be liberated. Simply by performing your duty, you won't be liberated. But one has to understand this. Simply performing your duty to go to Swarga, you're doing Varnashram activities to go to Swarga will not make you liberated. That is the import. But if you are doing your Varnashram duties, I mean other duties also, in the mood of detachment, that is liberating. If a person doesn't want material results, fruits from the actions which he is performing, that will not bind him. That the Lord will give the example of Janaka Maharaj, who was doing his kingly duties, but not with the mood of enjoying either in this life or in the next. Then he becomes liberated doing his duties. Does it make sense? So that is very important. A question had come last time that if I'm studying or I'm doing a business, how can I connect my work to Krishna? It's very simple. Whatever Lakshmi comes, Prabhupada very clearly says, 50% should be used for preaching Krishna consciousness. Same thing in Krishna, ISKCON also. Prabhupada's instructions are there. 50% should be used for book distribution or for preaching, direct preaching services. And 50% should be for other project development, etc. like that. So that is the standard of a person who does not want to be bound by the fruits which accrue by his actions. Now that appears to be very heavy for most people, because 50% देंगे तो मेरे लिए क्या बचेगा? If I give 50% to Krishna, what will I get? What will remain for me? And then, so 25% has to be used for our personal things and 25% for emergencies. Now, actually, if you see, are we actually saving 25%? That's also amazing, is it not? You may give to Krishna or not give to Krishna, but are you actually saving 25% from your income? I don't know. Are you actually saving that? Even if you don't give to 50% to Krishna, 25% तो नहीं जोड़ लेते हैं 25%. So, वहाँ भी तो गलती कर रहे हैं. संचय करने में भी दिक्कत है. So people are we are so much into spending. The whole atmosphere is like that. Buy this. And you see at the end of the day, you will say, I purchased this thing, but it's of no use for me. You actually see most of the time it is like this. So what I'm saying, even if you follow this advice, still you can survive 25%. Let's suppose if somebody gets 40,000 rupees, who gets 40,000 rupees here? Nobody will say. How much you are getting? 30,000. So 25% of 30,000 is 7,000? 6,000. Are you saving 7,500? I'm just asking, not chastising or something, asking. So you are able to save 7,500 rupees per month? Okay, then it's good. And you are able to survive in 7,500? But the question is there, if you can survive in 7,500 now, can you also survive in 7,500 when you get 50,000 rupees salary? No. then how can I survive? If I get 1 lakh rupees salary, can I still survive with 7,500? How can I survive? Now I've got 1 lakh rupees. Your sister got a repair, is it not? But you see, the needs of the body remain the same, whether you get 1 lakh rupees or 2 lakh rupees or 4 lakh rupees. So at least that surplus money should be used for Krishna Seva, Vaishnav Seva. And you must remember, it is not, see, looks like you must be depositing your money in the bank, is it not? You don't say, I have lost the money. Prabhupada says this, but when you give it for charity, when you give it for Krishna Seva, then it is billions of times coming back to you. But obviously, we should not think in that sense. We should always think that I'm giving this so that my heart gets purified. I think all of you must be frustrated by your material desires or not. I am pretty much devastated by this. I was praying to Krishna, kitna samay lagaoge aap? How long it will be there? Why don't you just purify my heart? I become a pure devotee. There is no struggle. But anyhow, Krishna. So a devotee understands he wants to purify his heart. He doesn't want to gain material things from this. So why I say that all these things, if I actually want to become liberated from my entanglement, then I must use this money for Krishna service. Now think about it. If I don't give to Krishna, then Krishna will take anyhow. by death and all that thing, he'll take everything. 50% nahi diya, sab le lung, kudki kara dunga tere. I'll take everything. And what happens? Then this money will be used by people around us for all sense gratificatory purposes. So anyhow, what the point is that in this shlokas it appears that by doing our duties we won't be liberated. But it's not like that. Actually, I would tell you the truth. For me to chant whole day is very uncomfortable. For me, it is very, very comfortable. Especially from 10 to 2, I must do something. I have to do something. Yesterday, I just spent the time in Gomata, just talking to Network Prabhu, something I must do. I don't know what the time is, 10 to 2. I just cannot do reading. I cannot do chanting, nothing. I must do some service. I become surprised in our ashram, there are 1 or 2 devotees who have no service. I see, look, jinda kaise hai? I mean, how they are surviving against Maya without any service, you know. I mean, you have to do something. Something, कुछ भी नौकरी कर रहे हो, कुछ तो करो कृष्ण के लिए. कृष्ण के लिए करो, कुछ भी करो, कुछ तो करो. Something has to be done, is it not? At least in my consciousness, whole day I cannot chant japa. After 2 o'clock, then you are in the evening. Then it's something you have done for Krishna. Then you feel like chanting and reading and all that. At least I am talking about myself. So I think it happens with most of the people. They have to do something for Krishna. Some service, something has to be done. But that should be done with the attitude of pleasing the Lord, and that also will give us self-realization. So it is not different from doing Jnana Yoga, okay? Austerities. So then last statement says, so you please tell me what is most beneficial for me so that I can execute it with full enthusiasm. Purport. And if you actually see, Srila Prabhupada for our ISKCON devotees has done a wonderful program. Morning you do what you're supposed to do. Daytime you do what you're supposed to do, and evening time you do what you're supposed to do. If you have this kind of program, you feel very happy. You know, till 9 a.m. you do your sadhana, then you take prasad, they do some service, you take rest, then I'm not talking about the brahmacharis, and then again you chant japa, and then in the evening you come for kirtan or class, and then you sleep. Normal days are so easy to go, is it not? Yesterday it was very difficult for me to pass time, because daytime I did not want to chant. Just not feeling sleepy or anything. My mind says, no, you do something. You must do something. You cannot just chant. It's just, maybe I'm too passionate. Not maybe, I am too passionate. And then just you have to do something. कुछ तो करना होगा, है कि नहीं? नहीं कुछ करने से बड़ा दिक्कत होती है. Now in the evening, like we had discussion about Chaitanya Charitamrita, it was so wonderful. I feel so fresh, complete fresh. Very fresh. So anyways, purport. In the previous chapter, as a prelude to the Bhagavad Gita, many different paths were explained, such as Sankhya Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, control of the senses by intelligence, work without fruitive desires, and the position of the neophyte. This was all presented unsystematically. Means the Lord was talking about Citta Pragya, and then he talks about a person who meditates on sense objects and he falls down, and then again he talks about Citta Pragya like this. A more organized outline path would be necessary for action and understanding. Arjuna therefore wanted to clear up these apparently confusing matters so that any common man would accept them without misinterpretation. Although Krishna had no intention of confusing Arjuna by any jugglery of words, Arjuna could not follow the process of Krishna consciousness, either by inertia or by active service. You understand this point? Arjuna could not ascertain what he must be doing. Should he act or should he just stay down? You should read Nectar of Devotion, and then Srila Prabhupada explains very important thing in the introduction itself. Krishna consciousness or bhakti, cultivation means there has to be some activity. Krishna consciousness or bhakti means there is cultivation of Krishna consciousness. So you must act with your body, we must act with our words, we must act with our mind also, obviously. But for the pleasure of Lord is not a matter of just sitting idly. I don't remember the exact words, but that's how Srila Prabhupada puts it. And you must be seeing, if we have service whole day, then we are more peaceful in the evening. And if we have no service, actually I personally become very, very unrest. I feel very unrest. What is this? I have no service today. You feel like this, Sam? I mean, you have some job or something, at least. For most people, it's like this. In other words, by his questions, he is clearing the path of Krishna consciousness for all students who seriously want to understand the mystery of the Bhagavad Gita. Now, it's quite interesting that the Lord has not spoken Bhagavad Gita to a meditator, but to actually a fighter. And so after hearing Bhagavad Gita, it's not that Arjuna went to a forest and was not doing anything. So this is a very important point. So Arjuna is trying to clarify it. I did not receive the file for the next shloka. So if there are any questions or comments, okay, some question is there. What to prioritize, service or extra japa? You must understand japa is also service. But for most people, it is difficult. If we have natural taste for chanting, we have no problem. But if I don't have natural taste for chanting and my adhikar is less, I have natural taste for service. So more daytime you do, morning time you should do our sadhana, and daytime you do some service, and again evening time you come for hearing and Shravanam Kirtan. That is normal advice for normally all the people. That's how it is worked for. You see, how do you feel if you have service in the evening? कल देखेंगे, दुकान बंद हो गई. I have closed my shop. I have to hear now Chaitanya Charitamrita, that tomorrow else. Is it not? Yes. And I'm trying to train everybody like that only. Anybody who's trying to serve under me, I train them in this way. Morning time you should have no other service, Shravanam Kirtanam. And then in the daytime you have some service, practical service. And then again evening you should have evening Shravanam Kirtanam. See, Bhagavatam says one should hear in the morning, evening, and hear Bhagavatam all throughout the day. But for most people, it is not possible. Suppose if I start this class for 4 hours every day in the morning, you will be reluctant to come to the classes. Most of the people, 4 hours every day, kaun sunega bhai? To bahut zyada ho gaya. And you must remember that we must flow as per the modes of material nature throughout the day. So as soon as you wake up early in the morning, I was in so much anger today that security man did not fill up the water tank and I could not take a bath. I was so much angry, and although I did not fully manifest my full blossomed anger on him, I just said, because of you I'm not able to go to Mangal Aarti today. I cannot show my face to devotees. I have not taken bath. But this is a different thing, is it not? I mean, that kind of anxiety we don't feel during the day to take bath or chant japa, is it not? Yes. In the morning, you're so eager to chant Hare Krishna. But daytime, not that much. So daytime, you do some activities which may be called passionate or whatever, but they are activities on bodily level which we can engage in Krishna service. That works very nice. It works really nice. Maya affects you much less if we have this kind of system. And if you try to chant japa all throughout the day, maybe it works for you, but for me it doesn't work normally. But there is a very nice story is there. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur ji had a disciple. His name was Anant Krishnas Babaji Maharaj. So he was a Paramahansa. Before joining only he was a Paramahansa. So now when he joined, he will not do any service except chanting Hare Krishna. And he will take prasadam 2 times and chant Hare Krishna. So now another devotee brahmachari said, what? He is not doing any service, only chanting Hare Krishna. Then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said, oh, you want to do also? Why not? Please go ahead. So first day he chanted for 12 hours. Next day also he chanted for 12 hours. The third day he said, nah, Guru Maharaj, I cannot do this. So everybody has an adhikar. So most of us we are karma adhikaris. We must act. Kuch karna hi hai kuch. So, okay, morning, evening you do bhakti, and daytime also is bhakti. Don't think it is not bhakti. Just the form of bhakti is a little different. So, they have to work for Krishna, and we can only work for Krishna in the morning, evening is proper hearing. Otherwise, no, you are looking at the chapatis. Why are you looking at chapatis? So the chapatis can be made nice so the devotees be happy and Krishna be happy. Is it not, Nakul? यही तो चपाती को देखने का उद्देश्य है, is it not? So this attitude that this is for Krishna is learned and, how to say, imbued in our consciousness by morning hearing and evening hearing. And if that is not there, it becomes difficult. See, I will give a simple example. We hear every time a Vaishnav takes prasad, anyone, you get mercy, even if they don't tell you that prasadam was good. They are hungry, they take prasad, and they become satisfied. So you get your bhakti credits are increasing. Just one example I am saying, by hearing. So now if you are told you serve prasadam, me only. Why me? Why me? Are you not seeing I am such an exalted Vaishnav? I must be served so that others will be delivered. Why I should serve others? That is so simple. That's a whole simple point. So that's why hearing gives, because you can't see it, is it not? When you're serving prasadam, you can't immediately see that your bhakti credits are increasing, Krishna is becoming pleased with you. Those things you cannot see. It's mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavat in one of the purport. When you give prasadam to a Vaishnav, it is giving honey to Krishna, pure unadulterated honey. So I'm just saying, so when our hearing is very profound, when hearing is very pakka, then we know what is the value of this doing this action. I may not like to bow down to our devotee, fine. But when you remember, oh no, I am not actually bowing down to the devotee. Krishna is within the heart. I am paying my respects to Krishna. Krishner adhishthan kari jiver samman kari Krishna adhishthan. I must pay respects to every living entity. What to talk of a sannyasi, what to talk of a devotee? Does it make sense? So I'm just saying, all throughout the day, our consciousness gets guided by what we have heard. And you see, in this shloka also, the very, very interesting point. If you see, Arjuna is saying, Yena shreyo hamapnuyam tad ekam vada nisyatya. Krishna, you speak. You are the foremost authority, a supreme personality of Godhead himself. So you speak what is best for me. So you see, when we hear from Krishna or the representative of Krishna, then a nishchitta or a kind of ascertainment comes into our heart. This is good for me. Have you ever felt like this when you hear what is the glories of the holy name or glories of Srimad Bhagavatam? Then a certain kind of faith comes in your heart or descends into your heart. No, this is good for me. Say, karna hai. I will do it, I will do it, I will do it, and this is very good for me. Are you feeling that? And when we don't read, when we don't hear, I am wasting my time here. So here also, the question is not fight or not to fight. The question is, what is the best for me? Are you able to pick up the question? What is best for me? He is not asking I should fight or not fight. He is always asking what is highest shreya. And also you remember, Nishchit Shreya means very, very important. Very, very important. This sadhan, the means which I am going to take as per your advice, should not miss the sadhya or goal. I am repeating this. Nishchit Samarran, certain means if I take this process which you will tell me, it must take me to the goal. This is one. And this is the nishchitta of sadhana. And nishchitta of sadhya or goal is after attaining that goal, nothing else needs to be attained. Are you able to understand? Or is it too complicated? Sadhan ki nishchitta or sadhya ki nishchitta. The means should take me to the goal. This is the certain point of the certainty of your means. And the goal by which I will attain through this means must be very, very certain. Must be stharim. There is not be something higher than this. Just like I don't like going to Swarga is pakka sadhya. If I say by doing this you will go to Swarga, is it nishchit goal? No, because there's something higher than Swarga. Then there is, okay, going to Brahmaloka? No. And that Lord will tell in the future chapters, A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna Mam Vettito Kaunteya Punarjanma Vidyate. So Lord is kind of negating even the aspiration to go to Brahmaloka. What to talk of Sarga by his words with the coming chapters. Are you able to understand this point? So Arjuna is asking this, and then Lord will, in the second sloka, the Lord is speaking. Third sloka, I think we are not going to discuss that today, but the Lord will speak in the third chapter. Yeah. So that's why they have, the devotee has not given me the third shloka, because the theme will change. The Lord will answer that question. So I think the question of Arjuna is very clear to you. What is best for me? And it will take me to the highest goal. Yes. Shripad Madhavendra Puri's disappearance day. Well, Shripad Madhavendra Puri is called is a Kalpavriksha in Golok Vrindavan, and he is the first person in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya who started worship of Shri Radha Krishna in Rag Marg. Before that, it was worship of Krishna, but Radha Krishna worship was not there. So from there, this worship of Radha Krishna had come. And obviously for him, if you want to read about him, you can read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter number, I'm not remembering exactly. You can say it's very clearly mentioned. Pastime of Madhavendra Puri was described by Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by Nityananda Prabhu. It's a very big chapter, so that we cannot discuss today. It is where it is. Madhavendra, chapter number 4. So you can read chapter number 4, Madhya Leela, if you want to have more information. Any other questions in this regard? Okay, so one last point. One devotee told something very nicely about hearing Shastra. He said, and it has happened with me also, personally in my life. Very good. He said, if you are on a road, I gave the example, and there is a Y. Y, you understand? Like this. So now, even if you are on the right road, on a scooter or whatever car, but if there is no milestone, milestones, what do they give you information? Vrindavan is 10 kilometers away, 9 kilometers away, 8 kilometers away. They don't really take you to that place, but they encourage you to keep your speed steady.
And it increases the faith that we are on the right.
Yeah, it increases the faith that we are on the right track. Now I remember going to Ramgarh in Rajasthan in our bus party. And what had happened is that they were making new road there. So Google Baba was telling it is Ramgarh. And I was getting confused. It looks to be same place, but there is no milestone. Am I on the right track? I was on the right track. It happened with me. But now, am I on the right track? And then the speed of the bus slowed down. Then I again have to hear from other people. So we have to hear from Shastra, we have to hear from Sadhu, same thing over and over again, so that our faith remains fixed. Okay? So I think this is very clear. So we'll stop here. I don't see any questions coming from devotees here. Oh, they're all sleeping. Acha, acha. At least I have been such a nice speaker that you are sleeping. Or maybe they are too much tired, but too much chanting. They got too much purified. It was so easy it was too easy for them to understand all these things. So okay, so we'll leave you here today, 10 minutes, 15 minutes early, and I'll cover tomorrow. I'll take 15 minutes more tomorrow, and you can take prasadam for now. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.